Welcome everybody. I'm going to do a lending with DavorCoin in the amount of, well, right now it's $161,355. It probably will adjust and change with the DAV price as it adjusts moment to moment, but somewhere around that amount. And yeah, I'm going to go all in. I did do a smaller one earlier because you cannot get paid commissions unless you have a lend in. And I think I did it in an amount of $100. So make sure if you're referring people and you want commissions, that you've done a small lend or some amount so that you can get those commissions. Let me go ahead and show you how to do this. This is really step 3 in the process. Step 1 is getting Bitcoin into DavorCoin. I have a video that I show you how to do that. Step 2 is buying DAV, which is the Davor coin. We call it DAV, with your Bitcoin. And then now I'm going to use that DAV and lend to lend, which is the link right here. So you click lending, and this allows me to earn these incredible returns by leveraging what's happening in the ICO and arbitrage markets. We're lending this to them so they can take those funds and invest into ICOs with their expertise. We know that they're experts in many regards because their own coin just launched about a month ago and went from 0 to hero. I mean, it's worth about $1 billion now with a B in a very short period of time. So we know that they know what they're doing with ICOs, very much so. So it's not a stretch to believe that when you lend them your money, they're investing that into other opportunities that they're seeing, and they're making a killing right now. And I have other videos on how all that works. So I click. You got to obviously be logged in. I click lending, and let me just back up and repeat. You have to have first gotten Bitcoin in here, and I got a video on that. And then you have to turn that into DAV, which is their coin. And now I'm going to take that DAV and I'm going to lend it to them so I can get the incredible returns, which we talk about in other videos. Okay, so I click lending, and then I click on start. By the way, lending right here, look at my cursor on the far left. And then I click start lending. Watch where my cursor is. I know sometimes it's hard to follow. Maybe expand the size of this video if you need to. I click start lending right here. Boom. And then this comes up, and I only got 115 seconds now to do this. So I want to maximize how much I can put in. I'm going to put like 161, see if it lets me do that. 161,000. I can't even see how much I can do. So I'd like to do more. Let me see if I can do 162,000. No. 161,500. No. Let's stick with 161,000. 161,000. Okay. Which is 1,838.529 DAV. Okay. And then I'm not going to hit auto reinvestment. I might do that in the future, but you can't turn it off like you could do in other programs. Some other programs, not all programs even have that option. But I'm not going to touch that because you can't turn it off and on when you want to. And this is basically my first investment. I did do a really small one just to get things going, but this is my real first investment with them. Then optional capital lock boost. It's asking if I want to put it in for a longer period of time. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm actually going to go ahead and lock it in for 120 days and get that extra money. And I'll talk about that in a different video. I understand the terms. Let me see how much time I have here, 43 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. Boom. Lending successful, done. Bam. Okay, and then it says total investment, 161,000. You see I have the other one I did for $100, which I just did so I can earn commissions from the referrals. And I suggest anyone sending referrals in here get at least a $100 lend in there real quick while you're figuring out what you want to do. But okay, there it is. There's also staking. I'll have another video on that. Lots of other stuff that I'm going to show you how to do, but now you're going to be able to start making those incredible returns. Let's look at the profit calculator. If you look here, you can hit a profit calculator. Let's see what that's going to do for me. Again, I cover that in a different video as well, but let's just look at this right while I have you here. So with this profit calculator, you enter in the amount you want to invest, and for me that was 161,000. And then, and let me just speak for a moment for those that go, oh wow, oh Mike, you can really do well with this because you have so much to work with and I don't. I started where you all are. When I first got in business, which was quite a long time ago, but when I first got in business, I got an eviction notice on my door because I had to use the only whatever $300 I had, which was supposed to go towards rent in a couple of days. on a business opportunity, my first business opportunity, and I knew I'd get an eviction notice. But guess what? I still had a place to live. I figured it out. I'm not telling you guys to push it to those limits, but I understand what it means to have to, start from nothing, less than nothing. So I don't want to ever hear from anybody I work with that are in my groups or what have you that, oh, you have so much to work with, so you're in this advantageous position. I started with nothing, below nothing. Uh, I know what that means. I know what it is, and I know what it is to create from that. And that's, if you're there, then that's where you're starting from. And the first step is to get your mind turned around and focus on what you can do. And if you're looking at someone that's spending a lot on, and making a lot from because they got a lot to work with, and you're saying things like that, that's the problem. I never thought like that. Maybe I did at one point, but not when I got into business. I had read enough books and figured it out, and changed my stinking thinking around, and was able to manifest abundance. So wherever you're starting from, if I had found this when I was in that situation, I started with, a couple $100s, because that's all I had to start with, and that's where you start from. And you build from there. It's all about what you do with what you have, and you won't find an opportunity like what we see in cryptocurrency and with something like this again in our lifetimes once a couple of years go by. So seize it and start now so you can leverage and compound. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. So 161,000, and then I put 120 days because that gives me a boost. I'll talk about that a little bit more in other videos, just giving me a little bit more interest if I don't get my capital back until an additional 120 days on top of the 89 that comes with the the initial amount that I put in. Again, I got another video that goes into this in much more detail. I just want to show you what this comes to. You can choose for it to show you if you're getting like the average interest it was doing the last 7 days or last 30 days. Let's just pick the lower of the two. This is going to bring back 572,000. And then my understanding is, and again, I'm just starting out, but my understanding is that then I also get the capital back that I put in. And for those that were in USI, that's very different from USI. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's my understanding of it right now, which would just be incredible. Even without that, it's incredible. So again, they're taking these funds that we're lending them the DAV, and they're taking this and they are, investing into ICOs and arbitrage. Right? If you understand how much is being made there because of just the nature of the industry right now, and how globally there's just this transformative thing taking place that's putting so much money into these ICOs, way beyond even the scale, or at least it's getting to the point where it's going to be beyond the scale of the internet boom at its height in the 90s and early 2000s. There's so much money to be made, so the profit they're paying us is very, very reasonable when you understand the scale of that and how much they can make from the knowledge and the contacts that they have with ICO and arbitrage. But I cover that in more depth in another video. This has been Mike Klingler showing you how to take advantage of DavorCoin. I'll see you in the next videos.